Hello， 大家好，欢迎回到外媒看中国，我是安博人。The US President Donald Trump is feeling left out after watching the 80th anniversary celebration of China's victory following the Chinese people's war of resistance against Japanese aggression in Beijing, where President Xi Jinping was joined by Russian President Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un, the supreme leader of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. A possibly AI photo has gone viral of Trump watching the celebrations live on TV inside the Oval Office, where he sent out a salty social media post asking President Xi to send his regards to Putin and Kim as the three, quote, conspire against the United States of America. Why is Trump so upset? Well, President Xi, President Putin, and Supreme Leader Kim are the only three world leaders Donald Trump actually respects. And it's very clear he wishes he was in the same club. Problem is, he's not, and he never will be. Today I'll break it down as we go beyond the propaganda. This is Reports on China. I'm Andy Boreham here in Shanghai. Let's get reporting. The official 80th anniversary celebration for China's victory in the Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression kicked off in Beijing this morning with a speech from President Xi Jinping and the annual military parade. But despite the optics, this is very much a show of peace, as China positions itself as a more powerful player in the world, one that is devoted to a global future of peace and stability. You see, only those who don't understand China and its recent history would see today's military parade along Chang'an Avenue as some kind of a violent threat. That's because most of the Western world doesn't know that China's annual military parade coincides with Japan's official surrender on September 2, 1945, an event that brought an end to China's 14-year-long war to defend itself against imperialist Japan, who ultimately claimed the lives of 35 million Chinese. From 1931 until 1945, Japan relentlessly attacked and occupied parts of China in an attempt to subjugate the Chinese people and expand their empire in Asia. That time saw many hideous atrocities committed by the Japanese forces against the Chinese inside their own country, including the Nanjing Massacre in 1937, where China's then capital was decimated by a 6-week-long rampage of mass murder, rape, and destruction. 80,000 women were raped and up to 350,000 Chinese lost their lives. And then there was Unit 731 in Harbin, a covert biological and chemical warfare research unit where the Japanese conducted horrific experiments on Chinese men, women, children, and babies, including live dissections without anesthesia, deliberate infection with deadly diseases to study their effects, and being stabbed, shot, or burned with new weapons to test their effectiveness. Now, those are just two of the hideous examples of Japanese atrocities against the Chinese, which the Japanese government refused to apologize for to this day. China's annual military parade is basically telling countries like Japan, do not try that again. We're stronger now, and we will not tolerate fascism in any way. In fact, President Xi Jinping made comments to that effect during his speech. He said, "History reminds us that humanity's destiny is closely linked. Only by treating each other as equals, living in harmony, and supporting each other can we safeguard common security, eliminate the root causes of war, and prevent the recurrence of historical tragedies." He added, "Today, humanity once again faces the choice between peace or war, dialogue or confrontation, win-win or zero-sum game. The Chinese people firmly stand on the right side of history and the progress of human civilization, adhere to the path of peaceful development, and work hand in hand with people of all countries to build a community with a shared future for mankind." But that didn't stop US President Donald Trump from getting a little bit jealous, which he expressed, as he so often does, on social media. He wrote, "May President Xi and the wonderful people of China have a great and lasting day of celebration. Please give my warmest regards to Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un, as you conspire against the United States of America. Ouch. Like I said earlier, President Trump is feeling left out. Firstly, by not being invited to take part in the celebrations. And secondly, because the three world leaders he mentioned, President Xi, President Putin, and Supreme Leader Kim, are literally the only world leaders he respects and wants to be closer with. Now, why is that? Well, firstly, all three are popular and effective, showing greater skill at governance than Trump could ever dream of. But most importantly, it's because all three refuse to put up with his crap, basically, and they refuse to bow down the way the rest of the world's leaders have. What Trump wants of world leaders is for them to fly to the Oval Office, sit in a little school chair in front of his desk and beg for mercy. But there's a problem. As soon as they do that, he loses all respect and wants nothing to do with them. Trump craves the acceptance of the three men he had to watch hanging out together on TV this morning, but it will never happen, and he knows it. So all Trump can do is what he did this morning, send out salty social media posts like a burned teenage girl, even though he knows all three of his idols will just ignore him and it will get him absolutely nowhere. But he just can't help it because he lacks the kind of self-control exhibited in those three men he longs to be an equal with. He lacks the ability to stop, breathe, and think. And that is extremely evident in his entire second term. And on that note, that will be it for today, you guys. But as always, I would love to hear your thoughts. Did you know that Japan killed 35 million Chinese from 1931 to 1945? And do you think China should do more for world peace? Do let me know down below, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help the channel. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.